That you find on page 5 of the Vanguard this morning. Protesters storm National Assembly over headship. Details of that is on page 6 of the Vanguard for this morning. Why telecoms infrastructure must be protected. That's according to NCC and NJI. Details of that is on page 8 of the Vanguard for this morning. Federal government reverses 80-year admission benchmark in tertiary institutions. The details again. National grid collapses 4 times in 24 days. Details of that is on page 19 of the Vanguard for this morning. And page 7 of the Vanguard, there's the American election story. US presidential poll, Harris-Trump upbeat about chances in keen race. Alright, and page 31, why forfeited illicit arms pose security threats? That's according to the National Security Advisor. You find details of that on page 31 of Vanguard for today. Tinubu decorates acting COS Oliede with new rank. The details of that you find on page 8 of the Vanguard this morning. And coming on page 25 of Vanguard this morning, Ondo Gilbert, Ajayi floor Ayodatiwa in debate. PDP campaign council says, well, you find then you have the APC also responding, governor's performance excellent. You find that's according to APC as well. So you find details of that on page 35 of the Vanguard for this morning. That will be from Vanguard this morning.
Let's check what the Guardian newspaper is bringing out this morning, or has brought out this morning for you. And of course, why the debate, the conversation around what is happening in the United States of America is ongoing as to the elections and the outcomes that we're getting to see. A lot of analysts will tell you that that key policies that are shaping what the voters, the decision of the voters in that particular election, whether it's migration, whether it's security, and a lot of other issues. But here in the front page of The Guardian, there is an interesting one, away from whatever is happening right there in the US. It says, cash and carry. That's the bold one in the front page of The Guardian. Public engagements, debates, fading as vote buying rules pose. And you find the picture of leaders of about 4 political parties. What I can see here, the national leader of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. You find the chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Ganduje. You find that of the PDP, Damagun Umar Damagun. You also find that of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, in the front page. And just behind them, you see the ballot box, where you will have to make that decision, where you have to, make your decision known in terms of the vote cast by the eligible electorate. But we find out why that is happening, why public engagement debates fading and vote buying taking place, ruling our polls. So what we should be doing. That read will be on page 6 of The Guardian. You also find here in the front page of The Guardian, Sokoto LG chair alleges ₦1 million youth inducement from new terrorist group. Minors freed on humanitarian conditions, says FG, as NAPS offers scholarship. You also find out here in The Guardian, rising energy demand, vandalism affecting grid stability, says experts. And 16-year-olds now eligible for tertiary education as FG reverses age policy. FBI warns of disinformation as Trump gives condition to concede poll. And also from the Nigerian judiciary, CJN laments rising vulnerability of Nigerians, fans to cyber attack. Also here in The Guardian, FG pledges to cushion hardship boost MSMEs from the Dangote, Aliko Dangote. You also see here deregulation, not license, to blend off-spec products. That's coming from the businessman in the front page of the Guardian for today.
Alright, from the Guardian this morning, let's check the leadership. On the leadership this morning, right, we have this story from the leadership this morning. Court dismisses treason charges against protesters. As we have on the page 7 of the leadership this morning has the story. A U.S. election. The world waits with bated breath for poll results. Trump, Harris tied amid high voter turnout. 82 million votes cast via mail. How election brews in key states may delay results. Alright, details of that is on page 4 of the leadership this morning. And still on the leadership, 28 die in Niger bandit attack and Imo accident. You have federal government versus the 18-year entry age for varsity. You want to read on the leadership, you find that on page 18 of the leadership for this morning. And we also have this one, a court stops CBN others from withholding Kano local government funds. Details of that is on page 7 of the leadership for this morning. 14.3 million people in Nigeria are drug users, says federal government. Details of that we have on page 6 of the leadership this morning. And on the power issue, national grid collapses ninth time in 10 months. Details of that is on page 25 of the leadership for this morning. As we are fully prepared for Ondo election, INEC says. Details of the preparedness you find on page 6 of the leadership this morning. And that will be it from the leadership for this morning.
Let's quickly run down to check what the blueprint has for us today. The blueprint, a newspaper on the front page, you find U.S. presidential poll, Trump outrage over 40 scanning ballots, sure of victory. You find ex-president Kamala Harris go neck to neck, anxiety items over 270 electoral college votes, election results trickle in, and that's this morning. We're already having some of the results coming in at this time. Bad governance, the good citizens. Tinubu admonishes free 119 minors. FG hands over children to Kaduna Kano governors. Educate them or face legal action. That's coming from Falano. You also find here Rivers. Developer declared wanted as two-story building collapses. One killed. That's in the blueprint for today.
Alright, so from the blueprint, the Daily Independent. The Daily Independent this morning, bad governors protest. Go and be responsible citizens. Tinubu tells 119 pardoned suspects. Urges Kaduna Kano governments to anchor their rehabilitation, reintegration. Their release demonstrates Tinubu's compassion for masses. Okay, it was according to some governors. Then you have details of that on the front page of the Daily Independent this morning. And bad governors, security institutions need strengthening on how to handle minors. That's coming from NBF. Details of that you find on page 29. Still on page 29, APC describes Atiku as most infamous election loser in Africa. You find details of that on page 29. Page 7, Sanwo-Olu empowers 1,200 Lagos artisans with work tools after skill enhancing program. And we have this one on page 7 as well of the Daily Independent. National grid suffers partial disturbance, says TCN. Still on page 7, Dangote to Pinnacle Oil. Deregulation, not license to blend of blend of spec products. That's Dangote to Pinnacle Oil. Find details of that also on page 7. Tinubu promotes acting chief of army staff to lieutenant general. You find details of that on the front page of the Daily Independent for this morning. And finally, from the Daily Independent is the story: Education Minister reverses 18-year entry age for varsity admission. Front page of the Daily Independent has that story. Alright, that will be it from the Daily Independent this morning. Alright, let's the New Telegraph. From the New Telegraph, we have this one: Nigeria plunged into darkness against national grid collapses for time within a month. Details of that on pages 3 and 29 of the New Telegraph this morning. Well, TCN blames incident on line trippings, while FCCPC to sanction airing discourse for billing inaccuracies and inadequate customer care. You have details of that, told you, on pages 3 and 29 over the Daily in the New Telegraph. Still on the New Telegraph, citizens without insurance access to get federal government's financial protection. Find details of that on page 3 of the New Telegraph. And on pages 2 and 29, Tinubu decorates the acting COS Oluyede with new rank. Why forfeited illicit arms pose security threats. You also find that story on pages 2 and 29 of the New Telegraph this morning. Local government autonomy. Governor Sule scraps joint account in compliance with Supreme Court judgment. Presents 156.6 billion naira 2024 supplementary budget to Assembly. You find details of that on pages 7 and 29 of the New Telegraph. And concerning Ondo election, Ondo Guba, we are fully ready for election, as INEC chair says. Stakeholders will inspect sensitive materials when and where. It's on page 4 of the New Telegraph for this morning. From the New Telegraph, let's check some sporting stories. Then we call it a wrap on this segment.
All right. Let's check sports. The Punch Sport Extra is here for you today. And of course, in the front page, the board one you find in the Punch Sport Extra for this morning reads: quick stop. Sevilla may end Iheanacho's Spanish La Liga adventure. Why? That's the question in the minds of many Nigerians, looking at the fact that he's also one of our stars right there in the Super Eagles. But check the Punch Sport Extra for that story. You also find here in the Punch Sport Extra, Fernandez on Barca Inter Madrid radar. Find that Ten Hag kicked against Zexi signing. More revelations following his sack. You also find here in the Punch Sport Extra, Nigeria beat Cameroon to reach RHF final. Djokovic pulls out of ATP finals. And also right here, Osimhen returns to training. Super Falcons to play France's Le Blues in friendly. And right here also, just beside the nameplate, Got Talents high third successive UCL win. You find that story and more right there in the Punch Sport Extra. You also find here something is quite interesting. Madrid set sights on Lookman. Will he? Should he? Can he? You check the Punch Sport Extra for that story. You also find outcomes of encounters last night in the UEFA Champions League. And topping the conversation also at the stand is Manchester City against Sporting, where the incoming Manchester United manager defeated his soon-to-be rival in England, 4-1 with his current club, that's Sporting. But that's it from the Punch Sport Extra for today. Shadi?
All right, with the stories from the Punch Sport Extra, we call it a wrap on the newspapers headlines for this morning. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we will be looking at some discussions from the political arena and on the state in the focus this time. Don't go away.
Leadership is not a package where you take it and say, here it is, I give you the package. Leadership comes from what you do, how you do it, how you live, what have you acquired in terms of your training, your experience, your track record, and all that. And what I'm saying is that the young people must strive. They shouldn't expect it to be a parcel delivered by DHL to them. And they must know that nothing comes just for nothing. You work for it.
In the heart of Nigeria lies Ondo State, a region in the western part of the country that is blessed with amazing people, rich cultural heritage, and enormous potentials. Also known as the Sunshine State, Ondo State was created on the 3rd of February 1976, and since then, 19 people have served as governor, 12 military governors, and 7 civilian governors. The 7th and current governor is Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa. He was sworn in on the 27th of December 2023. Lucky Ayedatiwa's leadership is not merely a continuation of a legacy, but a fresh commitment to the people of Ondo State. Apparently, Lucky is a leader who fate has brought to guide his people towards a brighter future. Governor Ayedatiwa's
Yes, glad to know you're still with us on AM today. This Ondo State in Focus, and this time we're going to be looking at it from the lenses of the youths in Ondo State. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, we have about 53% of the population of Ondo State being youth. I mean, people between the ages of 19 and 45. It's nice to, this morning to look at the issue with us. The issue we'll be discussing is the youth engagement and mobilization. To discuss this with us is Matthew Ogumolawa, the National Youth Council of Nigeria State Chairman, and that's for Ondo State, and Southwest Chairman of Forum of the National Youth of Council Development.
And I want to greet the viewers. Good morning to every one of us.
All right, now the election is upon us in Ondo State, and the youth definitely, considering the strengths, we are the ones, or let me say, the youth are the ones that have a whole lot at stake in any elections, because decisions that will be made likely will affect their present and equally the future. So you heard a program recently, engaging the youth and all of that. So how was the program, and what were the things that you emphasized the youth?
We believe, we have assurance that the youth, they are the stakeholders in anything. When it comes to the issue of election, pro-election, and pre-election, election, and pro-election, and all the process, we believe that the youth take a lion's share of it. That's why we call for Ondo State Youth Space Summit last week. That's on 29th of last month. The police, INEC, and other stakeholders when it comes to the issue of election. And we invited the stakeholders of the youth leader from different organizations and groups, and the core members, because we believe that core members, they take the lion numbers of youth participating in the election, because the core member will be in all the units of the polling unit on the day of election. So we invited them, we discussed, we invited some of our leaders, the people that have reputation in the society, to come and speak to us. One of them is Pastor Olumolawa, and the other one is another person, Mr. Akinde, or Pastor Akinde from Noah South. So they spoke at length, encouraging us how to use our strength, as you have said. We believe that we have the strength. We encourage ourselves that we should go back and continue the voting education, voters education, that we should encourage people to come out. All these things that is happening is because youth refuse to come out. If you are outside, nobody can rig our election. If you are on ground and we say we are voting, the issue of votes show me, if the youth say no, it will not happen. And the reason why they are penetrating, or the reason why they are doing all this source of electoral malpractices is because the youth refuse to come out. On the day of election, you see youth, they will be playing ball. You see youth, they will be watching television. They will be doing something that is not relevant to their function. Whereas they should see that the day of election is the day we are determining what happened to our future. It's the day we are determining what happened to even our born generation. So if all of us come out and vote for the candidate of our choice, what do I mean? The candidate of your choice may be different from the candidate of my choice. But we should just see that all these people are indigenous of Ondo State. The people contest me. So anybody that I am mad, let's come together and congratulate the person. That's our campaign. We are not campaigning for party A or party B. To me, we have about 17 people contesting, which means one will win. The other 16 will be waiting for another time. There's always another chance. So if youth should have it in such, there will not be crisis.
Good. Just as I said, you didn't tell them to vote any particular candidate, but you just encouraged them the need to participate in the elections. But then, did you give some guidelines to maybe what to look out for when they're trying to vote the candidate of their choice, or what should inform their choice in a candidate?
Well, about that one, personally, we have been engaging the people that we know that can listen to us. Me, I may have my own choice, but my choice may be different from your choice. Youth, we have different way of thinking, so there's no way we can impose candidate on anybody. We are talking about the candidates that have vision for youth. We future a better future for the youth. We are talking about the people that have good character. We are talking about the people that have been tested in one area or the other, that did not fuck up. All of us, we know our story now. As far as this nation is concerned, this state is concerned, we have 70 people contesting. If we should be talking about one of them, one after the other, you know them. The only thing we may say that some of them they did not belong to a strong party, because we know as far as the election is concerned in Nigeria, we know that some people they cannot win party. They cannot win election. They just say, let me contest, let my name show. And besides, their name will not show on the ballot. It's the logo of their party. To me, they now say, I want a candidate of so party. That is what they want to. That's the reason why they are doing. But me, I just look at it that in the future, the youth, we are going to look for a way of reducing maybe the number, and the youth can come with a candidate and stand with that candidate with our strength. If you come with any party that is not SCC, contesting for president, contesting for governorship election, we will win. But now we have not have the voice. Very soon we get the voice. But the next election that we are approaching now, we are talking to our people which will vote for credible candidates, which we know by ourselves the sellable candidates are among them.
But when you say which we know by ourselves as those who are perhaps the sellable candidates, a lot of questions also be around. You talk about manifesto of all of these political parties participating in this election, as to those who have vision or who have inclusiveness for youths to incorporate them to drive change. Have you really seen much of that coming from all of the parties in this election that youth-centered, that would, in a way give, I'm not saying you mentioned the name of political parties, but have you seen that desire in all of the political parties in this election to say, look, we understand that the youth have strength, and we're going to be taking deliberate steps to harness this strength for the development of our dear state, because Ondo State is heading into a critical period, whether you like it or not. We're almost 50 at this time, and when somebody is 50 years old, the question also has about how far he has gone. And you look at the population, the indices at this time as to those who have even registered to vote. Young persons are so much in terms of the numbers that they have with INEC at this time. So that understanding, have we even gotten it?
Well, I don't want to mention anybody's or any candidates in the game.
Of course.
But I want to say that we have started democracy in this nation back since 1999. Different parties have rulers. Different category of people have rulers. We are developing every day. I know there's nobody coming into power in Nigeria today that will not consider the youth. Formerly, when you talk about the youth minister, you'll be talking about our grandfathers. For now, our colleague, and he's doing wonderfully well, are your wisdom, because he's one of us. Because he knows that after 4 years or 8 years, if he misbehave, we tell him that, bros, when you were there, what do you do? But somebody that have retired from civil service and is now contesting an election, what do you expect from such a person? I'm sorry, I'm getting towards that stage. I mean, the stage of the elders. But let us say the truth. I told some of the people that are close to us, whenever they are here, we're supposed to be looking for anybody that is over 16 in this nation, beating them, doing a lot of things to them because they are the one that caused this problem. Ask me why. They will be telling us, youth, what do you do? What is your take? What are you doing? When they were in our stage, I mean the people that are 50, 60 years now, when they were in our stage, what did they do? If they have changed the narrative, then we know our problem now.
Are you doing
anything?
something now?
That what we are doing now. What we are doing now. We are trying to coordinate the youth, to tell them that let us speak one voice. But those people of those days, they are because of money, because of this, because of that. Then maybe they are afraid of military.
A lot of persons will tell you that even at that time, that you find a lot of very vibrant youth. When you look at how Nigeria even got its independence, got its democracy back in 1999, fundamentally the youth played a major role in all of these states. And when you fast forward to now, they say the reverse is the case as to some of what the youth are doing. You mentioned yourself on election day that you find youth playing football. In the past, you wouldn't even see that. You find youth watching movies on election day.
Yes.
So it appears that even at this time, we still have that problem which you are alluding to that was present in previous years.
Yes.
So correcting that narrative
Do
is
you know what I'm
very
trying to say?
important.
What I'm trying to say is that our immediate leader, you know, in life, where some people are moving, you move, you
You
follow
are
them
blaming
step
You're
by
saying
step.
in
blaming.
between.
Now, the people that have took over 99, that took over the democracy in 99, they are still in the system. They don't want to go. Sorry to say, our president, the current president, he was governor of Lagos State. How many years back? Remove it from his age. You know his age. It's supposed to be after a period less and but when they look at all that, we are not serious, and we accept that we are not serious. But now we are now trying to change the narrative. That we are let's take it up. Now I'm talking about my brother Ayo Wisdom. I'm proud of him. Now he's doing well as minister. If he's given the better position tomorrow, he will do well. You get it now? But it is something is that let us look at it that my own now. I am occupying this position that I'm occupying today because there is crisis in Ondo State. I am looking for a day that I will hand over to another younger person, a matured one, that will pilot the affairs. I said it yesterday. I said if I'm handing over, I just pray that I should have somebody that will be listening to advice from me, not the person that I will be assisting to do the administrative job. No. As a leader, build a leader and build a follower. Don't be involved in today and everyday's activities with such a person. So the issue we have now is that godfatherism. How will I put so person there? If it should be there, who will talk to him? Who is his godfather? No. Who is the godfather of Ayo Wisdom in Akure here? But God helped him. He passed some tests. Mind you, for you to get to a passing position, you must have done tests and examinations. So the youth of today, they are not ready to be tested. How? If I wanted to test you, I'm invited to my house. Hello, sir. There's going to be a program tomorrow. I don't want the program to be old. Take this 1 million naira. Go and scatter the place. And you now say, sir, what you said is the best, but I cannot do it. If the man emerge tomorrow as governor and is looking for the person that will be reasonable enough to assist him in governance, he will call you. But if you collect the money and you go and scatter it, tomorrow if he emerge, the only thing he can give to his SC on special interest. You know the meaning? SC on maybe Togri. Or whenever we want to attack people, he's there for us. People, you should know that whatever we do today, you are writing history about yourself. So let me say, for Ayo Wisdom, sorry to be mentioning his name, I'm not here because of him, but I'm using him as a case study for other you to learn. He must have been tested.
Okay, just as you've said, there is a place for learning because you don't get tested
Yes.
if you have not been trained.
Yes.
That means someone has been mentoring you. And from your speech, you've been saying the old hands ought to have hands off for the new ones to take charge. But thank God, gradually we're seeing the new ones coming on board gradually. But that means that the youths, what are they doing? For instance, your organization, what are you doing in building capacity of the youth so that
Thank you, man.
Worthy.
Let me correct the statement that when the old one will be fine who to be handed over to. Power cannot just be handed over. Nobody in this life will be ready to hand over power. The youth must be ready to take over power. So what we are trying to say is that we are trying to talk to ourselves, behave well, have a vision. How do you do it? And the result shaped the whole Ondo state. You know that these people, they are coming up. You said it formally. I remember on those days when our seniors, when they are voting, we'll be looking at them. When they did Abiola's election, we saw them how they line up. The row was far. You know, everywhere was quiet. Why? They want to vote. So we were young then, we saw them. But now, just move around. Because I used to move around during the election. You see people playing football. Go ask from there. You see, I register, but the last time I used it in the bank, I don't know where I drop it. They are registry, INEC restriction or voter restriction now because they want to use the card to do one or two things. So what I'm trying to say is that we, as far as the Youth Council is concerned, we are engaging ourselves seriously that let us be involved. If you are not involved, there's no way they can come and give you the power. There's no way they can hand over to you. But when you are involved, they now say, the best is that, okay, let's give you councillor. They will start from councillor. If you do well. You know that some councillors, some in the history of Nigeria, don't let me specialize into Ondo State alone. There are some parties that are not ruling party, they will emerge. Why? The person contesting there have built a name for himself. We don't need to wait until we contest at the PDP, APC, or any powerful party before we can win councillorship.
It wasn't actually the other time, I wasn't talking about being given on a platter, but there is a place for mentorship, right? There's a place for mentorship. So are you encouraging the youth of today to probably have mentors in one or two of the ones who are ahead?
Yeah, it's part of what I said the other time. When at that stage, you will pass through many tests. Part of this is your leader can just call you and say, my boy, take this money, go and do this. He has been mentoring you, but he want to know maybe you are trustworthy. Say, take this money, go and buy fuel. You will be in the car and see that maybe truly you bought fuel of 20,000. Or he can give you his car. You know when he buy fuel of 20,000, the gauge he knows. Or you give him money, go and buy the one of 30,000. When you come back, it's not up to where 20,000 will be. It will not up. So we are talking to our people that when you talk about mentorship, the first thing you can be mentored. If I pick you as my follower, I can give you my cross bag. Take. Buy pure water for me. You know, say, Oga have money here. I know how much is there. If I recheck it, 1,000 is missing, I will not ask from you. Tomorrow, I will not give you again. Indirectly, I will use that to drop you. So we should know that whatever thing you do is a stage. So I want to believe that the youth nowadays, we are getting it right gradually. I am happy to say this on air, that since they have started the campaign, that they have been moving from local government to local government, there's no attack on political rally. Either party A fighting party B. Why? Because the youth have noticed that if BTO, if Ayo Wisdom have been fighting as thug, they cannot be given this position. So we know now that people are monitoring you. So now I want to say that I want to give it to the youth of Ondo State that we are getting it right. And I want to say that as we are seeing it, that we are getting it out in the electionary campaign, on the day of election, the youth will be out and vote for the candidate of their choice. And Ondo State will shine.
Ondo State will shine, definitely. Ondo State.